That was going to be my next point. If you're thinking, this is the other thing, when you give something away, if you get, let's say you put 10 people in your beta and you give it away for free, my guess is you'll have less than 50% show up for the first week, and you'll have less than 10% show up for week 2. They fall off really quickly because since they didn't pay, it's not really that important to them. Something that I've become a big fan of is building the course with people as a beta, because so many creators are like, I know what the world needs. I'm going to launch this course. They spend months or years producing it, and then nobody buys. So yep. I know you have the solution to this. I know we've talked about it. Tell us how you would have somebody go through building a course.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, 100% I would do a live beta. And
so what does that mean?
Yeah. So what that means is that, so you start by building out your framework and get really clear about who you're serving, what the results are, and then that success path. And then what you're going to do is, before you build everything, don't do a bunch of videos, don't do all the things, right? What you're going to do is you're going to invite some beta participants. And I say you need 5 people minimum to be in your beta, right? That will give you the feedback that you need. So if you have no list or just a small list, all you need is really 5 people who can give you some really strong feedback. If you have more, that's amazing, but you really, like, minimum is 5. That you're going to invite them into a live course. And what that means is that you are literally going to build it while you're teaching it and record it. And then you're going to use that as your minimum viable product, meaning that that's what you're going to use to get feedback and perfect your offer and perfect what you do. So what will happen is people will take it and then they'll be like, well, I don't understand what you're saying. And you're like, oh, great. Let me rephrase that. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an activity that you can do that will be helpful for you to get those results. And so it is a great scenario for both the participant and the course creator, because you get so much rich feedback and you're super motivated to help your learners be successful. And so whenever there's a beta, I always jump into it, because I'm like, it is the time that person, that the course creator is the most motivated to help me get results. Because if I get results, then they're successful, and then they know that they have a proven model. And
you're going to get the feedback.
And that I mean, and it's so typically what happens is each step of your framework becomes a week that you teach, right? So you'll say, my beta is 6 weeks long because I have 6 steps, right? Something like that is typically what happens. So then each week you do a training. So you get on a Zoom kind of like this, and you teach your thing. And then you get feedback from your participants, and you continue doing that for the 6 weeks. And then at the end of the 6 weeks, you can choose to use that beta as your course, right? If you're like, I nailed it, it's awesome, that could be your course. Or you can choose at that point then to re-record it. And so you could do, direct to camera, you can do, PowerPoint with your voice recording. There's lots of different ways to turn it into an automated course. But by doing your beta, it really gives you what you need to test. Here's the first thing, is it allows you to test your offer. If nobody will pull out their credit card for what you're teaching, then you have to go back and figure out what makes it unique and what is going to be something that people is really compelling to people to get results. So that's like
I agree 100%. You are saying then do not do the beta for free. You need to charge people.
No, beta, and don't discount it. Don't discount your beta.
I agree. Why not?
Because here's the thing. This like fires me up, because people are like, oh, you have to discount it because you've never done it before. Here's the deal. When you go to a conference, or you go to a training or a seminar or anything that you would do, like say you signed up for a training class or even a college class that you sign up for, you pay for, and then you attend, like you haven't gone to it yet, right? But that's normal. We wouldn't think twice about that. right? You sign up for an in-person seminar that's a 2-day seminar. You wouldn't think twice about paying for it before you go. But for some reason, when we look at a course and we talk about our beta, we're like, well, we haven't built it yet. We haven't done it yet. We have to discount it. Why? It's the same thing as if you are saying, I'm doing a 2-day class, come sit in the classroom with me. It's in 2 months.
I
And
mean, if anything, you're giving the people more value, because usually the way that I always tell people to do beta is do your training, then do a Q&A a few days later and figure out where people are stuck, where do people need help, and then redo the training or do the next version of the training, like do the follow-up all in 1 week. Those people, the 5 people who are in there, are getting one-on-one with you. They're learning, they're getting all of their problems solved. Anyone who buys the course after you put the course out is not going to get that.
Right. 100%.
And
100%.
I would pay double for that. If I wanted to learn something and I was going to buy the course, or I could get the course plus one-on-ones once a week with the person teaching it, which one am I going to buy?
Yeah. Hands down, every time. But here's the problem, is that because there's this perception that it's not created yet, in the course creator's mind, not the learner's mind, mind you, in the course creator's mind, I have to discount it because I haven't created it yet.
That has to do with the person creating it and imposter syndrome. It does not have to do with people buying it.
100%. However, I will say with this caveat, do not think that your beta is just like, well, I'm just going to jump on and I'm just going to start teaching and it's going to be great, right? Like, no, that's not a beta. A beta is you have your framework, you've thought through the person that you want to teach and the result that you're giving them, and you have spent the time building your framework, but not all of the content. Right? So you're not going to go and create all your videos and record things and like pre-do all of that. There's no need to do that, but you still have thought through your framework and what the outcomes are, right? So don't be like, well, of course I'm going to discount a beta if I'm just going to stand up and wing it.
Yeah, that's not a beta, and that's not serving your people very well. It's not going to get anyone to ascend, and it's going to be very painful.
Right. 100%. Right. So it's not a wing it beta. It's an intentional practice of what you're going to be teaching.
That is really good. If people are out there listening and they're still saying, well, I got to do it for free because I don't know, or blah, 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 whatever is in your mind, if you can't sell the beta, you're not going to be able to sell the course when it is finished either.
Right.
So,
and people who pay attention.
That was going to be my next point. If you're thinking, this is the other thing, when you give something away, if you get, let's say you put 10 people in your beta and you give it away for free, my guess is you'll have less than 50% show up for the first week, and you'll have less than 10% show up for week 2. They fall off really quickly because since they didn't pay, it's not really that important to them. It's crazy. I've had people beg to be in things that I sold, and they're like, come on, I really want to be in, da, 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 and I let them in. I don't do it anymore. I let them in. Course I did like 2 years ago. I did like a live workshop, right? They begged and begged and begged. Let them in. They showed up to the first session. They never showed up again. They never got anything out of it.